Alrighty then, folks. The king is back to drop some scholarship on that ass. Space Cadettes and Space Cadets. And when I say drop scholarship on that ass, I mean literally dropping scholarship on that ass. I got the scholarship for that ass and it's coming. Y'all niggas gotta excuse me, man. Woke up listening to that G-Funk era. Got that LBC juice in me right now. Shout out to them boys out there, man. Urban life near the beach living. Yeah, that's better than the last year. The last one started off, I spared your ears this time. The last video I started off singing that St. Jude. Sounded like a goddamn strangled cat goofball. Had to stop doing it. I try to throw a little humor in this shit with y'all, man. But don't think it's sweet though. You know, niggas see you laughing and joking and be thinking something soft. And that's not the case. But let me get this show on the road, man. Start off with a well, start this last installation to this series off. Yeah, close it out with this one. But I want to start off with something a little tad bit off topic. I see the good brother Azariah or Azazel passed away or made the transition. Now, I want to shout him out. I haven't really looked at with Azariah. I checked out you know, every time I think about him, it takes me back to the beginning stages of my introduction to the conscious community via YouTube after I got out. Cause it's been a while since I checked him out the other day. I think it was Saturday. I caught a video from I can't remember. Besides that, he's one of them cats I hadn't really listened to him in a while. I think it probably around when I first came home, which like 2011. Valid cat. But one of the things that always stuck out about him is legend has it within the conscious realm of things, or from what I remember hearing about him. I think it was Bobby who said it, or was it him? I can't remember. But yeah, legend has it, the Gremlins. Now I'm not sure if it's the Gizmo version or the transformed version or maybe both. But they say that he was that they stole those the idea for the Gremlins, those drawings, because if I'm not mistaken, Azil was an artist. He used to draw. Rescue me if I'm wrong, but that's the one thing I remember that always stuck out about him. They say that they say them all the mischievous cracker barrels stole an idea from them, you know, spying on them and shit, which I could believe that, because shit, I be seeing shit they get from me and shit, and old shit. I ain't even talking about recent shit, I'm talking about old shit sometimes. So I can believe that, but they say he's the author of that, and they one way or the other they stole the gremlin, the imagery of the gremlins from him, and that's one thing I always remembered about him. But so shout out to the good brother, man. Wanted to kick it off with that right there. Peace be up on him and his loved ones and whatnot. So we got that taken care of. Another thing I want to speak on. Now, something I've been hearing for a while now, since I've been out of jail. Like I say, another thing I've been hearing. Now, the health nuts, or the people within this conscious thing that have this, what would be a good word to give them? The goddamn GMO dreaders, or the people who just really be so worried about diet and shit. You know what I'm saying? And not to say you shouldn't be, you know, cause I got limits to shit I eat. You know, like I said, I don't eat pork, but you got motherfuckers that do eat pork, and I wouldn't want them to beat me over my head cause I don't eat pork, or I wouldn't want a vegan to beat me over the head cause I eat chicken and turkey and shit. So I don't go too hard on them about people with the diet thing, but then at the same time you have to understand about what that is. You know, this shit is bigger than diet. I never had a strict vegan type diet, and I've done all kind of miraculous feats within this conscious spiritual thing. So we're not going, but I will say something like this. You know, you do whatever comes to your mind, however you feel, whatever moves your spirit. You know, so you feel like you should be a vegan, be a vegan. You feel like you should eat hog maws and all that old shit. Hey, whatever. But I will say, like I said, when I was in jail, I went on a 3-day fast where I didn't do nothing but drink water, and I think I do think that it had a little, it gave me a kickstart, or a little, cause I had a spiritual, a real spiritual moment after that. So I would advise that if you haven't ever done that, I would advise that. And really the reason I'm saying this is because, you know, you miss, and like I said, it's on you, but you know, a lot of y'all be missing out on shit thinking, oh, I'm not gonna eat that pizza with the cheese because it's not vegan, and you really be missing out on a good time and missing out on a lot of shit that you can really be partaking of that won't have any goddamn detrimental bearing on your spiritual path. You're just a nigga that don't eat cheese pizza. Really, you should. And a lot of you motherfuckers, I know y'all be wanting to eat some of that shit you used to eat before you went on your vegan path or whatever. And really you just sitting up depriving yourself for no reason. You know what I'm saying? At least shit, eat the shit, cheat, have you a cheat day or something. You know what I'm saying? That's just me though. But I'm saying all that to say, show you how misinformation spread. Now, if you go study Persephone, and shit, even fuck that, we can go to the, I think the Roseland Chapel, the Roseland Chapel. Well, take it back. The people who be on these tirades about food and GMO, one thing I've been hearing is corn isn't a real vegetable. And you know, they say, oh, the white man made it, it's GMO, they totally created it, and not the fucking case. You know, probably gotta watch these people. You gotta live, you gotta have a sense of discernment. First and foremost, Osiris is a corn deity, for one. Two, and that's back in ancient Kemet, before GMO and all that shit even came about or whatever. One of the symbols of Osiris was corn. Shit, I'll show you why. Or why, what? Corn and maize. You know, maize, well, corn is the, you know, the yellow, and then you got maize where it be like black and yellow. But that was your corn right there, cob. I think that was the dude name on that movie I was telling y'all about in the last one, Inception. Cob or something like that. Cob, corn, children of the corn. I need to go watch that movie. I know it's probably some science in it, but I ain't seen it since I was a kid. But yeah, man. Corn. See, don't just look like this. This would be outside would be the husk, and then the inside would be the kernels of corn or whatever. Even when you go look up, I think it's Persephone, which is another version of Isis. But I read one of the stories on her, and it was saying how she went out just like they said about Isis and Osiris. It's the same thing, but they went out and taught the world how the liberal arts and how to plant corn. When you read the story about Persephone, they taught man how to cultivate the land. Period. But when you're dealing with Persephone, and when you look at ancient Egypt, like the world, you'll run into areas where Osiris is spoke on in regards to corn and synonymous or connected with the corn or whatever. And like I was saying, in Riseman Chapel, which they have I read in the book, what book that was? I think it was the Haram Key. I think it was the Haram Key or something like that. But they have in the book it was saying how it was speaking on how they were saying America, they were saying how people corn was indigenous to America. This is what they were saying. As if it wasn't nowhere else in the world. But if that be the case, why when you go to the Riseman Chapel, which was supposed to be built before Columbus came over and quote unquote discovered, or before the Europeans or whatever came to America or whatever, to have a run-in with corn or become acquainted with corn, you had corn carved, pictures of corn carved into the Riseman Chapel, which was supposed to be before they came over here. Which in the book, the point they was trying to make was the whole that Columbus shit was bullshit. If I'm resting me if I'm wrong, if my memory served me correct. But yeah, they had in the Riseman Chapel. That's over there in I don't want to say England. I can't remember. It's somewhere over there in Europe though. But I said all that to say, show you how conscious people be going nuts at times with all this shit. These people are saying corn isn't real, and it's a genetically modified food, and they made it in the lab. Well, what the hell? Well, why? When you go back and start studying mythology, which predates this GMO culture we live in, you hear about corn. Our ancestors spoke about corn. The Native Americans as well. So that I just brought that up to give y'all an example of why you can't be around here. You have to have a sense of discernment with these people, man. It's beautiful times. Everybody coming into some type of knowledge. A lot of misinformation and shit going on now. Don't get me wrong. I guess that's the cons of it. The pros is, you got more motherfuckers waking up, and even if they not accurate with what the shit they learning at one point or another, all you can do is do your part and hope that the people that you see eventually get it. Cause like I said, I know we all go through we go through things. One minute you might see this and you be thinking this, and you might see some information that contradicts that. It might blow it out the water, or you might find a way to reconcile them and be like, hey, they both right. Or you might say, hey, I was believing some bullshit at one point in time, or that wasn't right, or nothing no bullshit, but it's a journey. So I get that. But that's why I say, man, before you get in front of people, in front of these cameras, make sure you know what the fuck you talking about, and make sure you are thorough with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta think about this. Other people that's shit. Even me, even knowing everything I know, I still listen to. Now I be on TikTok seeing a lot of conscious shit, and you know, it's so much. I keep strolling mostly, but every now and then, Spirit tell me to key in on something. I stop and listen and see what motherfuckers be talking about, because I can still learn shit too. I'm forever a student, you know what I'm saying? But I just brought it up to show you, man, how a lot of shit be, you know, put this shit on the scale, man, and test this shit, because these people are, you know, just like television and these goddamn crackers and shit. You know, the quote unquote world powers, or whatever you want to call them. The motherfuckers been impressing us all this time. Motherfuckers will tell you anything, man. America will tell you anything, or the US or whatever. Cause I ain't even hate calling it America, because America really is a divine name. Amaraka, the great mother. But yeah, man, I just want to kick it off with that right quick and make that be known, because that's, you know, now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that there's not a GMO version of corn. Just like they say it's a GMO, they can do anything GMO. You let these motherfuckers tell it they making all kind of shit, and who's to say they not? You know what I'm saying? They tell you they making the GMO shit, but we're not gonna sit here and act like corn is just, well, it wasn't a such thing. That's why I say you get, sometimes y'all give these people too much credit. You know, you give too much credit to the, for lack of a better way, bad side, or the white men, or whatever you want to call this shit. You know what I'm saying? Give these people too much credit. You know, to say motherfucker just, because think about it, who was sitting around saying, well, you know what, let's make something called corn out of thin air. I know how to do it. We're gonna take this wheatgrass, and we're gonna take this, and we're gonna make corn out of nowhere. Come on, man. Now, like I say, they might make fake corn and it might be some genetically modified corn around this motherfucker, but corn is a real thing. It's not like, you know, because you let these people tell it, these motherfuckers made corn. So now let's go on and get into the main feature of this style. So I'm gonna get back to the whole IU thing, hit y'all with a few more things on the ass thing. Then I'm gonna swing it on into the last part. Probably talked too much goddamn shit in this beginning, but see if I can get everything in there, in it all off right here, or this installation right here, so I can start on some other shit, because I got other things I want to speak on. So the last one I was telling y'all about, the IU, the Jew, or the ass, or whatever. Few interesting, go through a few things I bumped into to kind of shed a little more light on what I was speaking on in that last video. So let's see. Now, the ass, like I said, we'll do a quick overview or review. I was telling you have the ass, or the donkey, in ancient Kemet was symbolic of the physical existence. So you had IU, which is the ass-headed deity. And if you just look at the IU, like I said, I was telling y'all that IU is another word for Christ. It's one of the different components of the Christ. But the donkey aspect of it is a reference to the physical body, or the physical world. The donkey being stubborn, or hard to move, or lazy, or not active. Just like the flesh is in comparison to the spiritual aspect of it, or the stillness of the feminine side, the dark stillness compared to the active light, or active masculine, or whatever. So if you just say IU, or just the ass, you just dealing with the physical, That's why they add the Ayu Elohim and to it, because Elohim would be the light, or the Ayu when you add the Christ aspect to it, or the light, it becomes the physical body that is the physical body that's in which the glorified body dwells within, the home of the tomb of the Christ body, the spiritual light or whatever. So let me get into a little scholarship real quick. Okay, so let me see. And if I gotta go one more video, I will. But I'm gonna try to squeeze it in right here. This time be passing fast in the motherfucker, man. So what we looking at? What we looking for right here? What I want to start off with. All right. Let me see. Yeah. See, right here, just like right here, go back to the coin thing. It says, it's Ancient Egypt Light of the World, page 300. The main, which is the mains, when you hear mains, the mains is the soul going through the journey in the underworld after making the transition. But it go both ways though, because we're actually living that, even us. So when I say that, you would think, oh well, you would think it's just talking about after the journey of your spirit after you pass on from the physical. But it's also the other way around too. Us right now in this earth body lifetime that we living in right now, we going through the underworld right now too. Just like the mains you see on the walls in the book of Coming Forth by Day and all that. But we're doing that right now. That's why some people tell you that this is death and after this is life. You know what I'm saying? It all goes together. So but when you come down here, your soul symbolically dies and you have to resurrect it and be born twice. And that's when you come into the glorified body of Christ or whatever. And I know this firsthand from experience. It ain't just a hypothetical shit or some old. It's real in the field because I live this shit. But and you can too. That's the reason I'm telling you. I'm using myself as an example to let you know that this is some real deal. This is what you really need to be doing while you're here, amongst the other bullshit you might have going on or whatever. You need to be glorifying your goddamn body. But the coin thing, it says the mains carries the title deeds of his allotment with him. And that's what I be saying. Just like, for example, I want to touch on that too, where it says he carries the title deeds of his allotments with him. See, that's why you have to know who you are. Man, I need to find. Yeah, I got it over here somewhere. When motherfucker, the scripture where it tell you to read. See, when I be telling y'all, might think I be bragging with the whole Christ thing when I'm telling you who I am, but really what that is me. And really, I ain't got nothing to prove. It's really more so about me showing y'all or being an example that this whole thing is real. So, and I might pop a little shit with it too. There ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, everybody pop their little shit or whatever. But when I'm showing y'all this evidence and all this shit that's pointing the fingers at me when it comes to the spiritual shit, that's like me, the deeds. That's me showing, hey man, I'm the real, this is real. And that's what you need to be doing with your own life. Study to know thyself approved. Because when you get into this, the more and more you start reading, the more and more you really start waking up. And when you come into the Christ body, you come into the glorified body, you don't even need a nigga like me to come convince you or think you need somebody to convince you. The universe will start showing you the signs. And you'll start seeing these occurrences happen in your life. And you'll start seeing things happen like, man, woo. And that will be the cue that you are approved or you doing what you're supposed to do. But it says these are writings in thy possession for the grant of fields of corn land in which there springeth corn from the effluxes or sap of Osiris. And that's in the book of Coming Forth by Day. Chapter 109, known as the Book of the Dead, but we call it the book for coming forth by day. But yeah, so you got there go your corn shit right there in ancient scriptures. But corn is not a real thing. Come on, man, we gotta do better than this bullshit. But anyway, let me see. Let me get to the ass part. I might have to make one more video. I want to talk about, or maybe not. Maybe I could. We'll see. We'll see. Let me find it now. What's going on here? All right, there we go. Nah, I'm gonna go. I ain't gonna start. I'm gonna jump over. But yeah, but even with the IU, yeah, but like I say, IU is just another component of Christ. Even when you look at the word Jesus, I know which we since they used that as a weapon against us. Now when we hear the word Jesus, it has a negative connotation to it. Well, oh, that's Zeus and Jesus and all this shit. But I'm Christ, and I tell you like this. Even that word, you take the J and replace it with an I, because they say the I came before the J or whatever. And you got ISIS, I-E-S-U-S, I-E-I-E-sus. The I-E being the masculine or the light or the Christ or the sun, and then the S-U-S, the sus, that's ISIS, sis, sus. Take vowels, S-U-S, S, replace the one vowel with another, U with the I, S-I-S. ISIS. Mother and son within the word itself. So that's another interesting thing about the IU thing. I guess let me go ahead and get straight to this part so I get to the second half of what I want to talk about. I'll come back. I think I'm gonna do a whole nother breakdown, do a whole nother installation on the whole IU thing by itself, where I can really get thorough with it. Cause I want to end this off talking about the mother blood, which this all comes into play. Cause like I said, the IU, the donkey is like I say, the whole symbolism of the donkey in Christ is referring to the physical body, just like the mother blood. But we're gonna get to that in a minute. I'm gonna hit y'all with this right here, and go ahead and go into that next topic I want to speak on in regards to this. So let me find it real quick. Let's see. All right, 3:30. All right, so I'm gonna read this. The vignettes to the ritual prove that Atum Ra, the solar god, and his son Ayu were also represented by the ass. The sun or sun god goes down to Amenta as if not riding on it. Amenta as if not riding on the ass. So when you look at the sun, when it's coming up and when it's sinking, and you see half the sun above the horizon and the other half, like, you know, like the earth is the ass, and then you got the sun, which would be the Christ, when it's sitting on top of it, looking like the ass of a donkey when they flap down or whatever. So let me go back. At dawn he rises in, hold on, he is attacked there. Hold on, okay. The sun or sun god goes down to Amenta, i.e. sitting at night, if not riding on the ass. He is attacked there by the apex serpent, which is the darkness, who devours in the dark. At the dawn he rises and is hauled up by the ass or by the young solar god with ass ears. Thus we have the old ass and the young, the Hebrew ass and the foal of an ass, on which the sun god in the later legend rode when he came up from a mentor riding on the ass in the mythology, which preceded eschatology. The ass and the young sun god also were both named Ayu, and Ayu was the son of Adam Ra. Now see, Adam Ra, Atum Ra, that's the physical son right there. So, because Adam is the physical body. Adam is the physical body, which is which is created by the mother blood. The physical will be the melanin, the mother blood, which works in concert with the spiritual aspect of it, or the active masculine part of everything, to create the physical body. So that's why I said the physical body, until you raise yourself back up, it's like a tomb, because your soul is within it, dead or asleep. That's why you got some people. Sometimes it'll say Osiris was murdered by Set, and then you see sometimes it'll tell you he didn't die, he was just resting. The Osiris had a resting heart, but that's your soul. It's the resting heart. You wake it up through this information and certain experiences that you go through within life. So when you see Adam Ra, the sun you see in the sky will be Adam Ra, or your physical body will be Adam Ra. Ra being the light, or the sun, Ra, Ray. So that word Adam Ra is basically saying the sun, the tomb in the sun, or the sun within the tomb. But Adam Ra, the ass being a zoo type, let me read it again. The ass and the young sun god also were both named Ayu, and Ayu was the son of Adam Ra, the ass being a zoo type. Ayu, as Egyptian, is represented by Io in Phoenician and in Hebrew. Clement Alexander, who was an Egyptian. Hold on, let me see. Okay, Clement Alexander, who was an Egyptian, spells in the name of Jehovah as Iau. Iau. That's where the Jehovah shit come from. Jah, Aya, Iao, Iau, Iova. Thus Iau is the ass in Egyptian. Io is the name of the god with an ass head, and Iau is Jehovah, the god of the Jews and the Christian also. That's where the Jews got this shit from. Originally it was the Iau. Like I say, you place an I with a J, you got Jew. Yeah, I think I must treat this in a whole nother thing by itself. Let me see. All right. Yeah, because I want to go somewhere with this. But Sabbath was also, Sabbath was also the Jew god, or god Iau, who was known by the name of Io Sabbath. That's the Saturday thing, Io. That's why niggas don't like working on Saturdays and shit. And I know I don't. The weekend and shit, you know what I'm saying? But the Sabbath, the day of rest or whatever. But anyway, the ass god is portrayed on some of the talismanic stones that were copied by a king. Now, I don't know what king they talking about. It's probably somebody a couple of paragraphs back he already referenced or whatever. But that's matter of fact, it is. I can see if I can find it. But he's talking about another author, I think. But when he say king or whatever. But the ass god is portrayed on some of the talismanic stones that were copied by King in his works, the Gnostics and Their Remains. Yeah, that's the book he wrote. So in one of these, Io is the ass-headed, and the character of Horus grasping the two scorpions as he stands up on the kippus. But King, who calls this ass-headed Typhon, or the principle of Aya, I-H-U-H, as God the Father, both of whom were forms of the ass-headed deity. And Iao, or Abracus, is likewise portrayed upon the Gnostic gems in the shape of a double-headed ass, which is equivalent to the Father God and Son in the same image of Ju, or Iao, or Aya and Jah. Jah skills, baby. Or Hu-Ha and Ao, and their duality blended in one figure.
it represented Horus or Iu in the cult of Adam Iu. See, Adam Iu would be the physical body, would be Adam, and Iu would be the spiritual aspect of this thing. That's me saying it. I ain't reading that, but now. King knew only of one ass, which to him was a type of the evil soot or typhon. So, but this was not the ass of Iu Sabat or Adam Ra. Now, what he's saying right there is, now, go back to this part right here. Horus, okay, when we speak about Horus, the ass-headed character, Horus grabbing the two scorpions. Now, they got many different versions of that one. But what he's trying to tell you is, when you see, well, I'm going to interpret it for you. The ass or the donkey is the zoo type for soot. Soot or Set, one of the things that concept is referring to is physical existence. Or the physical body of man, or black man and black woman or whatever. When you see, so when the king guy saw the ass-headed, well, he called it the ass-headed typhon. Set would be like Set before he was considered the bad one. If you add the typhon with it, that's when he becomes the bad one, the typhon. Because typhon itself, comes from typhlu, which means blinded and arrogance and get secret teachers of all ages by Manly P. Hall. He breaks down what the typhon's thing mean or whatever, the typhlo. But so when he saw the ass-headed deity, the first thing that came to his mind was Soot Typhon. But there's many different versions of the Christ baby. It's really the Harmachis, the baby Jesus or the baby Christ. Most of the time when you see that image, you see of Christ holding the two scorpions, you see a baby holding two. Right here it says two scorpions, but you'll see a baby holding two snakes in his hand. Well, one thing that refers to is this. Harmachu, Christ, the fist of Christ, or the hand holding, or the knot right here, holding the serpent right here, and the serpent right there. Two serpents. Another thing that represents is having the innocence of a child. When you're in tune with your inner child, or you have some form of connections, or you move or operate out of the innocence of a child, that's one of the things that protects you when you're walking through this wild wilderness of a world we're in right now. This whirlwind of whimsical, what the fuck? I'm freestyling. But, yeah. So, that childlike innocence that keeps you humble to a certain degree, it also serves as a protection mechanism. That's why they have the baby, the scorpions or the snakes that he's holding. And then one of the things they represent when we think about snakes is all the poisonous, the poison or the danger that a scorpion or a snake could pose to you is what those snakes or those scorpions represent in that particular imagery. The baby holding them, the dead snakes or the dead scorpions, represents the power of the innocence of the inner child that neutralizes the threat of shit that can happen to you, which is represented by the snakes or the scorpions. So when you see them holding two scorpions or the two snakes, that's the image that's what they're trying to tell you. Move with the innocence of a child, you know. That's why I do you know, that's why you know, I do little shit to try to make niggas laugh and have a little goofy spaz on here sometimes, cause it's an inner child thing or whatever. You know, so yeah. So that, but when you look at it, but you like I said, usually it's a little baby holding the that's the first time when I read that part. That's the first time I ever heard about an ass-headed deity holding the two scorpions or the two snakes or whatever. But I know what it is, and I can see why the king guy would be confused about it, because you know when we think of the ass-headed deity, we automatically think of Soot, because that's his head. When you look at the paintment set, you see a donkey head or whatever. So, but when you look at a donkey or ass-headed deity holding the snakes, that will represent Christ in the physical body, because you have the ass-headed deity representing the physical aspect of things. But when you see him holding those two snakes, represents the neutralization of any type of threat that can be posed at the Christ figure, or somebody that's in tune with the spirit realm, or in tune with that Christ body, or who've become glorified or reached the Christ level or whatever. Him holding the snake, so the ass represents the physical body, or the physicality aspect of it, and him holding the snakes represents the Christ energy, or the baby Jesus in you, that is immune to, for lack of a better way of putting, the powers of evil, or the opposing powers, or the powers, or the powers, the forces that are opposed to the spiritual aspect of things, or whatever. The powers opposed to spirit, or powers opposed to Christ, or whatever. You know, so even when you going through tough times within your journey, if you just a regular dead nigga, or a regular motherfucker that don't know what's going on, you just a motherfucker getting blown in the wind. But when you going through shit and you conscious of who you are, and you of the Christ conscious, then you can even take those negative experiences that you're going through, or experiences that are perceived as negative, and alchemize the shit. You know, and after you get through the fucked up part of it, be like, you know, because like I say, it ain't pretty. You go through shit, hard times, shit happen. It's like, damn, it's gonna fuck you up. Dark night of the soul, basically, is what it's called. When you go through a certain era where you just it's rough. But that roughness that you're going through is shaping you, and it's building you up spiritually. Even if you don't see the bright side of what you're going through in that moment at the time, it may be 2 or 3 years later, you look back and be like, you know what? I got a jewel out of that. So many words, you find out how to utilize whether it be good or bad, the things you experience while you here or whatever. And that's the part that in the long run protects you. So you might be going through something in a particular moment, but then when you understand it's the path or whatever, it kind of makes things a little easier. You know what I'm saying? So, but overall, once you come into the knowledge of self, you always keep learning, but once you come into the true understanding and you know that you know this shit, then you're pretty much in good hands after that. You know, it's still, you still have your little ups and downs. It's the nature of the beast in this planet, but you can learn how to basically put yourself in a position to where even when certain things do happen or whatever, that might not be seemingly according to how you want things to go. When things seem like they're not going your way, they won't be as effective as they would be. Let's just put it like this: say you got 2 cars. Now, if you got 2 cars and they both working and one break down, then it ain't as bad because you got a backup car you can ride until you fix your other car. You know what I'm saying? But that would be equivalent to putting yourself in a position to where even when some wild shit do happen, it won't be as bad as the breaking down of the car won't be as bad as it would be if you only had 1 car. You know what I'm saying? So that's a little analogy or way to put it. So now I'm gonna take y'all to I just want to drop a little bit more on the IU thing. I think I'm gonna segue this one into my next installation. Okay, let me see where that at. All right, 305. Now we're gonna gotta switch gears because it all comes together because the mother blood and the ain't that a bitch? Yeah, I'm gonna have to do another because this motherfucker gonna cut out right now. I had to charge his battery up, so I'm gonna have to come back on this one. So y'all just hold tight, man. But this next one for sure, we gonna cap it off on this next one. I don't mind going another hour in regards to this. I might go back to a little bit more IU evidence. But yeah. So I'm gonna have to go and tap this one on out right quick because it's about the goddamn battery finna cut out. But y'all stay tuned, man, and you know I'll be back.